Hello. Happy Monday. I hope you're all okay. I hope you had a lovely weekend. Now, something for you to do. Have a look around your classroom, please, and find our school mission statement. Point to it. Okay. And have a look at those words. In the word cloud and underneath our mission statement about being, it says, obviously, together we learn, grow and dream, but also the framed version with the word cloud says underneath about being local, national, and global citizens. And that's a little bit about what we're going to think about today. So June, the month of June, is Pride Month. Does any of you know what that is? Okay, have a quick chat in class. If you do, that's great. And if you don't, we'll talk a little bit about it as we go. Okay, so we're going to think about Pride Month, and we're going to think about labels. Now, everybody has different labels. You might have a label that shows that you've had a head teacher sticker. You might have a label, like all of our classrooms have got these labels that we've just talked about with the global goals, with the school logo. You might have a lanyard that shows that you are on the school council. You might have a lanyard like this one. Should only be one or two people in the room that have a lanyard like that one that says who they are, but also they've got these rainbow colours. Does anybody know what these rainbow colours represent? No? Have a think, have a chat. Some of you might do, and if not, we'll talk about it. Okay, so there's lots of labels around the place. Now, these are labels that you might be a daughter, a son, an uncle, a brother, a sister, an aunt, a grandchild, a nephew, or a niece. Some of you, if you've got grown-ups watching in the room with you, might be mums or dads. How does it feel to have labels like this? Does it give you a sense of belonging to something? Okay, so what are you belonging to if you've got one of these labels? That's right, you're belonging to your family. Okay. What about these labels? Now, you might have one of these. You might be Scottish or Asian or black. You might be Chinese or Polish or Sikh or Jewish or English or atheist or Christian or Catholic. And like we've said before, with our No Outsiders theme, everybody is welcome. It doesn't matter whether you've got one of these labels or you've got a different label. You're all welcome if you come to Wincham. Okay, everybody is welcome. It doesn't matter what that label is. Now, some of these labels can be a little bit different as well. Okay, but when you look at these, it gives you that sense of belonging. Okay, but some of these things can be used as terms of abuse by people. They can highlight that people don't belong or are an outsider, or to say that these things are bad. We know there is still racism in our society, but we know that everybody is welcome here. It doesn't matter if there is racism somewhere else in the world, then if you are one of these things, you are welcome in our school. Okay, we all welcome people who are Polish or Jewish or atheist or Christian or Scottish or Asian or black. It doesn't matter. Okay. What about these labels? Other labels can be about your personality or your skills or your ability. You might be bright or clever or happy. You might, geek is a label, cheeky or kind or bully is a label, or funny or sad or caring or sporty. So some of these may be positive, but some of them can be used to insult people. And labels can sometimes be used by people to try and upset others. Is it fair to upset others? Is it kind to upset others? Absolutely not. So there are other labels that are used to talk about how you feel towards other people. So straight and gay and lesbian and bisexual and transgender. So it might be, this is the point, depending on how old you are, if you have a bit of a conversation about what these mean as a class. Okay, you can do that. Straight means someone who falls in love with someone of the same gender. So a man would fall in love of a different gender, sorry. So someone who falls in love with someone of a different gender. So a man would fall in love with a woman, or a woman falls in love with a man. Gay is a man who falls in love with another man. And lesbian is a woman who falls in love with another woman. And bisexual is a person who can fall in love with either a man or a woman. Transgender means that some people don't feel their bodies fit their gender. So boys sometimes feel they should have been born girls. Girls feel they sometimes should have been born as boys. And sometimes they feel like neither. Sometimes they feel like both. And people who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender are part of a community of people. They belong to a community of people known as the LGBT community. So we've got lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, LGBT community. And the reason we're talking about it now is that it's June, and June is Pride Month. And Pride is a celebration of LGBT, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender culture, and also remembering some of the challenges that LGBT people have had in the past, and how we're saying that actually you can be lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, black, Muslim, Sikh. It doesn't matter. No matter what you are welcome at Wincham. And whilst these things happen in Pride Month in June, it's not just in June where you're welcome at Wincham. If you're gay or lesbian or bisexual, you are welcome right the way throughout the year. But we just make a big deal out of it. Now, the symbol for Pride is the rainbow, which is why all of us, all of the adults in school have got these rainbow lanyards. It's to show that we support the LGBT community. Okay, so that rainbow, you'll see it a lot around the place at the moment with it being Pride Month, but it's saying that every single one of us, all of the adults, have got these rainbow lanyards to say that we support the LGBT community, because we all know it's okay to be gay, or lesbian, or bisexual, or transgender. Some of us have got families where people are gay or lesbian or bisexual or transgender. My brother is gay, and he's got a husband who he's just my brother's husband. That's how it is. And it's all okay. That's the point of it. So, come on, next page. There we go. There's LGBT community in every LGBT people in every community in the world, in any school, any family, any group. Now, we don't know how many LGBT people there are, because not everybody feels comfortable sharing information about their identities and family lives. And there may be reasons for this, including the fear that this information may be used to label LGBT individuals as being bad or being wrong or not, whatever. But we know that that people are in every community. So famous LGBT people, I'm sure you will probably know of others, include Sir Ian McKellen, who played Gandalf in Lord of the Rings and Magneto in the X-Men films. Alan Turing, an incredible person, really brave person. He was part of the team that broke the Enigma code. He, an inventor who made modern computers possible, an incredibly clever and brave person. Carol Ann Duffy, who is the Queen's official poet. And Tom Daley, who is an Olympic medal winning diver. And there'll be loads more. There'll be loads more. So there is LGBT language, things that we could hear about or we could think about in school. Now, sometimes people use the word gay as an insult. Okay, you might have heard it being used. Now, we might say that's so sporty, that's so Scottish, or that's so English, or that's so, I don't know, that's so nerdy or geeky. Do these things come across as an insult, or is it okay? So if you identify as LGBT, hearing that is really hurtful. Would you say that's so Muslim? No, of course not. So we can't say that's so gay. Now, right the way through Pride Month, we're really focusing on this, but actually, this is something that we should be thinking about all the way through. So, being gay is that's fine. You just fall in love with a certain type of person. So, it's not a word that we use as an insult. It's completely unacceptable in when we don't do it. And if it does happen, if you hear it happening, if you hear it being used as an insult, then absolutely you tell a teacher, you tell an adult, because we can make that stop. We will make sure that doesn't happen. And that's one of the reasons we wear these rainbow lanyards to say that right the way through, we are completely behind people who are lesbian or gay or bisexual or transgender, and we're showing it by wearing